Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony. Side by side on my piano keyboard, oh Lord, oh, why don't we? Such a deep and touching song. Deep and touching. It's Free for All Friday. There is so much to be discussed today. I just, well, I don't want to get too much into it until, hey, Cesaro and Willie plays. Andrew, Victor, Cora Nightmare, Wolverines, and Timu. Yeah, we haven't had FBI agent and Lupa. We haven't had FBI agent. Yes, we have. I'm gonna see what Susan does as far as any potential notifications. But we have to talk today, guys. I got thinking about this. I was just seeing where there's some more. Shit, what the hell's the guy's name? YouTuber, Pyro something. But anyway, I see where there's issue resurfacing around him and alleged inappropriate things he had done with someone. And I got thinking about it, and it's almost hard to find a YouTuber of any level of success on this platform that hasn't at least been alleged to have done something inappropriate, and most commonly something inappropriate with people who are members of their community at their channel. And I'm feeling kind of bad because Pyrocynical, thank you, Willie. We've never had that. One of you guys is going to have to take one for the team and let me groom you or something. I don't know how to groom. They don't mean like I just brush your hair, not that kind of grooming, right? We're talking different grooming because I don't even know how to brush your hair well. What the fuck do I know about brushing hair? But we got to figure something out. Well, you guys are going to have to talk amongst yourselves. Somebody's going to have to get molested or something here. It just seems like we're getting left behind. We got nothing cool. You know, everybody else is like, oh, you touched me in the bad place, or you talked about my naughty spots or something like that. And I'm just boring. I see everybody here as friends and people to hang out with and stuff, but I haven't taken it to that next level yet. So which thumbnail's the current mood? Moose says. So I'm just curious. Which one is it going to be? Anybody got nominations? Somebody want to nominate somebody in here to have to be the one to? And what exactly? I volunteer. Joe says I volunteer as tribute. Nice. And Nolan as well volunteers as a tribute. I my cheeks here. Roderick says. See, this is why I like our community. It's not going to work out. No, what you mean? Zombie Kill says I don't like that thumbnail. What you mean is I don't like that thumbnail. I love that fucking thumbnail. I nominate Brax for that. Wolverine says, no, it's gotta be somebody from the day-to-day community here. Vote Licks? Poor Licks. And you know what the funny thing is, Willie? When I was saying this, I got thinking they're gonna vote for Licks. Not the Cool Whip says, just entered stream, first one I hear is molested. God, I love this channel. Yeah, it's important stuff today, Cool Whip. Because we've never had a controversy of that nature. The only thing is, how is the controversy going to work? Okay, whichever one of you guys gets nominated, when I start grooming you or having inappropriate interactions with you, you got to be willing to complain about it, or how are we going to get on like Drama Alert or something if you guys don't complain about it first? You got to pretend that you didn't want me to do it. Oh, you got to go to work, Nate? Oh, well, thanks for stopping by while you could. Moose says, I nominate Brandon Rogers. Brandon's a good dude. Listen, if Brandon were the type that had the time to hang out around here, I just from the little bit I know about him, probably the type to say, yeah, I'll do that. Brandon's a great dude. Big Green says she would do it too. It is funny that her name came up because, again, we all know each other well here, because I was thinking that when I was thinking about bringing that up, it's like they're gonna throw poor licks in. Wait till she gets here. Ice Wife says, sorry, wait. Wet ass pussy, wet ass pussy, wet ass pussy. Michael Williams says, fun fact, the voice actor for Ichigo is the same voice actor for Vash the Stampede. Plus, he used to be a Power Ranger. That sounds vaguely familiar. I think, Michael, well, you know how bad my memory is. When you said that, that sounds familiar. I think when I was watching, now the name's gone completely out of my head, but Vash's anime, I think somebody had mentioned that to me. Yeah, I think they did. That's quite a range of characters. Ichigo, Vash, and a Power Ranger. One of these things is not like the others. I think they did. That sounds familiar. Jordan says, I nominate Big Green as a Christ Frieza Day tribute. How did everyone forget about the script Spaz was gay while you were meant to say, what? And then spam drama alert about it. You're all bad at that. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I just saw that, that again, that whole thing had come up with Pyrocynical again. And you think back on how many YouTubers have had some sort of allegation of that sort. And it's like, you know, this channel's been around for I gotta do math. This will be our 10-year anniversary coming up in 2021. And we've had a decent number of people around here since the early days, and we got nothing. We're over a decade as far as any type of complaints about grooming or inappropriate activities or anything. And I feel like I've let you guys down. Yeah, gone. That seems to be the case. He says a lot of Power Rangers turn to voice acting. And again, just from things you guys have told me, yeah, I've noticed that in a number of circumstances where people have said, oh yeah, so-and-so used to be a Power Ranger. Well, I guess it makes sense. Zeno says, hi, finished Seven Deadly Sins. Sucks to wait for season 4. On episode 12 of Akame Ga Kill, and love it so far. Might be a new poster coming. Yeah, I gotta believe we're going to Akame Ga Kill is another anime that gets mentioned a lot. Hasn't really risen to the top of any of the polls or anything, but gets mentioned a lot here. And that one, Zeno, you're stream boss now. That one, I know very little about too. It seems like the name comes up quite a bit, and it's usually always in a positive light. But I really don't know anything about that one. Arcane Mystic says, hey Curtis, I have the next 5 days off in a row. Oh, nice. Gonna be awesome. Going to the Tennessee football game tomorrow. Supposed to be 36 degrees at game time. And Knoxville's gonna be 36? Holy shit. That's like, for you guys, that's like really cold. We would love to have 36 right now. But yeah, that's real cold. Holy crap. I didn't even look. The Notre Dame Clemson game tomorrow. I wonder what that, because you guys know I am a fanatic of Notre Dame football. Yeah. Tomorrow could be my death. At any point going forward, could be my death because I get so into it. Notre Dame plays the ACC championship against Clemson. That could be a potential heart attack. If they win, they're definitely in the playoff. Most people think even if they lose, they're still in because of their record this year. So that means then there will be at least one playoff game where I might have a heart attack and die. I got to look that up, see what the weather's like. You know, if the weather's off a little bit, that would tend to, you would think, favor my Irish. You know, that because I got that big monster line and running game. And if weather's going to create havoc for the passing game and or, you know, skill players needing to cut like receivers do, you would think it would help Notre Dame. Diamond Dog says, how is nude news and nude yoga allowed on YouTube? I didn't know they were, but now you got me curious, Diamond Dog. I got it. Nude news and nude yoga. We're gonna look them up right now. Just let me see what Mr. Host said. How do you think N from Dorohedoro would react to the mushroom forest and interspecies reviewer? I never thought about that, Mr. Host. I never thought of. I'm surprised I didn't. You know, with having watched Dorohedoro that recently. N would that would be family. He'd be yanking in that mushroom forest. I didn't even think of that. That Dorohedoro, man, that's some fucking weird but awesome stuff. Really weird awesomeness. Hold on, I gotta check that quick. What was that? Nude yoga and nude news. Nude news I've heard of before. Years ago, they used to do that on one of the pay cable channels. But I didn't know anything about it on YouTube. Let me see nude yoga. Naked yoga. 1.2. Oh, it's just an hour ago. All right, here's a recent one. All right, I gotta see this. Oh, hello there. I have no idea how they allow this on here. You guys, if you search nude yoga, if you search nude yoga right now, the first one that came up for me anyway was one called Naked Yoga, and there's no yoga to it. Oh, that can't possibly stay up, could it? Really? Let me see it. This is something I didn't know anything about. Radical beauty inside a naked yoga class. Let's see. Oh, I can see this one. I can see they could say that it's, educational. Jeez, no wonder Pornhub took down all their videos. Freaking YouTube's cutting in on their action. What was the other? Nude news? Sorry, guys, I get away from the chat a little bit. This is important stuff. Naked News Hollywood. Okay. Oh, my. I have no idea. Wow, she's gorgeous, whoever she is. Oh, man, I gotta start watching more YouTube. What the hell? How is that getting over? I mean, some of it, like some of the nude yoga that I could see where they had. I'm back. I can see the chat again, guys. Some of the nude yoga I could see where they could kind of leverage that as educational, but nude news and the top video recommendation I got when I put in nude yoga was just this chick showing off her vag over and over again. Well, thanks, Robbie Williams. I don't know. I have no idea how they're getting that over. That stomach thing was weird, wasn't it, Gon? Yeah, Gon's talking about, again, if you put nude yoga into the YouTube search, if you get the same results that Gon and I did. The first one, the video is just titled Naked Yoga, and it's just this chick's vagina, and like he says, this weird thing she's doing with her abs. I don't know how they get that over there. There's full-blown porn on YouTube? Really, Big Green? Man, I am out of the loop. I hate to imagine what your search history is like, Zeno says. Oh, it's a fascinating search history. Yeah, if you guys listen, if I can share my search history with you, you guys, I like to think that we're all similar minded here. I think you guys would be entertained for hours. Krusty Bomb says nude news is basically people talking about stuff naked with the screen usually showing their headshots. Still kind of confusing me. Yeah, the one I just saw, Krusty Bomb, the girl hosting, she's gorgeous and was totally nude, just standing there hosting the show. I had to obviously turn the audio off, so I couldn't hear what she was saying. But hey, Shai, good to see ya. Shai says there's plenty of porn on YouTube. I didn't know this. Just leave your autoplay running for a few hours, you'll find it. I'm really surprised. I didn't know that. I thought I was pretty well versed in the goings on at YouTube, but apparently not. Andrew says incognito mode for the win. Well done. Ryan says now that's going to be popping up in my recommendations. Yep. Popping up. Oh, Lix isn't here yet. Lix is, well, Susan, I'm sure, probably didn't bother to send her a notification. I want her to know she immediately got nominated to be the token when we decide to have our own little controversy and I start grooming someone or being inappropriate with someone here at the community. First time I ever saw hentai was on YouTube. Youth Gone says, yeah, I had just, it's all hentai. Sokuta says, I mean, in fairness to me, it's not that I wouldn't look for that type of stuff. It would just never have dawned on me that YouTube might have that type of content. That's why I would have never have looked for it, because I didn't think they would. I thought they'd be right on top of it and getting rid of it. Willie says, going to do an early Christmas this weekend with the Grain folks. Oh, cool, Willie. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're having a Christmas get together today with the two young women who work with, or three young women who work as staff in our house with my daughter and their kids. And so we're going to have a little get together today. And then tomorrow, my wife's brother and his family are coming over for a little get together. And then Sunday we have another one going on. I don't remember which group that was for Sunday, but we're going away. As I told you guys, that's why I'm getting all the videos done ahead of time over at the Goosh, our Patreon, because we're going away. We'll be away from Tuesday until the day after Christmas, and so we're trying to get all that, the family stuff done now. Money Moore says, I want to go exploring in Susan's sandbox. I like the idea of exploring a sandbox, Money Moore, but you're a better man than I am. I don't think I could take that exploration into Susan's. And Vegito says there are still hentai videos on YouTube. I search right now. See, that's why I mean, trust me, it's not that I'm above watching such things. I just would have never bothered searching YouTube because I didn't think they had anything like that. Huh. Roderick says, the character with the most balls in My Hero Academia is Mineta. Prove me wrong. Well, he does have them in number. He was one of the, you guys that have seen the reactions of those will remember, he's one of the great swings and misses I've had on a character. Because I thought, when I first started watching that, I really liked him. He was my early favorite. And now, as I've gotten through more of it, I've gotten to where he's not even middle of the pack. I basically don't. I think the kid's creepy. It's one thing. See, to me, Sanji is a lovable perv. And that's what I thought Mineta was going to be. But even though he's a kid, he crosses over into creepy territory. There's just something about the way he goes about things. Am I wrong, you guys? Is he just as harmless as the others? Or Mineta just strikes me as creepy as fuck. I got to where I don't even like him. Anbu says, road to 300,000. Been watching it close to 4 years now. Yeah, we got to be. See, I'm not a big numbers guy, just because to me it's like, the communities we have here at YouTube and over at the Goosh, that's my life. I mean, that's a huge part of my life. And it's just my day-to-day routine and my fun and my enjoyment. And I don't really look at numbers all that often. I know I think we either recently passed or are close to 280,000, I think. I'm not sure. Like I say, I'm not a big numbers guy when it comes to that stuff. Official MX Curtis, the video on Vimeo where your wife experiences the Goosh is gone. Oh, that was on Vimeo? I didn't even remember that, MX. Ah, shit. That's right. I had to put it. Oh, fuck. I bet you I've got it somewhere. I've got it in a file. Oh, I know where it'll be. I've got a file of 1,550 videos that don't have any names on them because they were stuff that we had recovered from Vimeo before it went down, and then that drive got corrupted, and I had to do a deep drive, a deep scan onto them to get them back. But when I got them all back, they didn't have names. So I think I probably have it somewhere. I just have to find it amidst the 1,550. That's right. We put it on there because Susan really hates the Goosh man. Zeno says, just think about it. 13 more days of 2020. The only thing there is, Zeno, that's cool. I like that idea. But if 2021 isn't going to be any better, I'm almost scared to get there because I want to think it's going to be better. Oh, there you are. Lix is here. Lix. Okay, today I was telling the gang right from when we got in here, I just saw how pyrocynical is back. That whole controversy about him allegedly grooming some 15-year-old or something has come up again. And I got thinking, there's a ridiculous number of YouTubers that have either been accused of grooming or inappropriate activities with people from their respective communities and stuff like that. And I was saying, in the almost 10 years now we've had this channel, we've always had a decent following here, and there's never been anything like that. And I think we're kind of falling behind. So I needed we needed someone to step up and be that person who, I don't know how to go about grooming someone. I'm going to have to look it up, and I would groom them or just be creepy to them. Well, creepy comes naturally to me, or make inappropriate advances to them or something like that. And so I was asking, okay, guys, who do you guys nominate? Who is going to be the token person to be creeped upon? And your name came up immediately, Lex. they threw you right under the bus. It was immediately, yeah, let's go with Lex. And the funny thing was, Lex, just knowing the crew that we have here, I had almost predicted as much. Like, poor Lex is going to get tossed right under. Summer says, I should be watching training videos instead of this. Don't tell my boss. No, your boss has got to understand. Yeah, understand priorities. Okay, on one hand, you got training videos that are probably pertinent and important to your job, which he pays you for. Oh, okay, he pays you. Or hanging with a creepy old bald man. Even your boss has got to see that that's an obvious call right there. Hit my chest too hard. Let's see. Kaiser says, haven't seen much of MHA, but Tomoki from Heaven Lost Property manages to be a funny extreme perv. It helps that HLP is a comedy and Tomoki can be cool or nice when needed. Yeah, and that's the thing, Kaiser. I've seen a lot of perv characters that pull it off and are funny and are enjoyable with it. And I thought that was going to be Mineta early on. But Lix says, does it still count as inappropriate if you like it, though? That's what we were torn on, too, Lix. We're not sure how that works. Because, okay, like, if I do start making these untoward and unseemly advances towards someone and we all like it, then will we be able to pull it off as a real controversy when you have to come forward, as we said, to like Keemstar or somebody like that to try and get word out there saying that it was naughty. It sucks when you have to be a grade A actor or actress just to get our point across that creepy things can happen here, too. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Mineta, I don't know. He's just a kid, but for some reason the whole shtick doesn't come off as cute or likable to me. It just comes off as creepy. Lex, you're the best. Lex says, I don't know, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Yeah, dramatize me harder, Daddy. You guys are funny.
Oh, yeah.
Lex makes another good point. She says, do you want me to pretend to be underage so we can cancel you easier? Yeah, that would probably help, huh? Yeah, get us a lot more attention. Yeah, we got to think this through. It just seems it's just a shame that we get left behind. All these years we've been doing this, and I wonder though too. You know what, Lex? Everybody, for that matter, when you think about it though, when anybody comes in, okay, when the accusations start flying, and the investigative journalists of YouTube come in to see exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
After they spend a few minutes in a live stream, they're going to go, yeah, whatever happened there, everybody involved deserved it. They're just going to leave us alone, I think, because they're scared of us because they're normies. Christian says, hey, Curtis, not sure if you knew, but some Canadian guys built a functioning plasma-based lightsaber and got a Guinness World Record for it. I did see that. I saw just a short video on social media about that, Christian. That was badass as hell. Holy shit, it even said what temperature it heats up to. It was a ridiculous number. That was fucking wild. Yeah, I want that. I can come on. I can be trusted with that. I did. I just saw, like I said, just saw a brief clip on social media about it. They were cutting stuff with it,
Oh,
or actually just running stuff
yeah.
through the, through the saber itself or through the laser itself, and oh, that was cool. True, Thomas says, I think that's called Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. Starting to sympathize with your captors. And Sajil says, sticky stuff makes my skin glow. Yeah, see, the investigators are going to come in here to see what went on, and they're going to be like, nah, you guys all deserve each other in there. Circe, do I work out? Yeah. My big problem isn't working out because I enjoy working out. So I'm not one of these guys that ever had to drag myself to the gym. I love being in the gym, or even in the case now where I just work out. I've got my own little setup here in the house. I love working out. My problem is I like to eat too much. My problem is all dietary. As far as training, I've never had an issue with that because I love working out. Can I be, Hennessy says, can I be Darth Alcoholus? Socialists are coming, says Hank Hill approves of their lightsaber because propane. Letter X says, say something funny. Testicles. Testicles is a funny word. I don't care how you slice it. Testicles is a perfect word because balls look like testicles. That's excellent. Yeah. So Kuda says FBI open up. Krusty Bomb says that was the Hacksmith. They have a YouTube channel. By the way, as an engineer, they basically built an oversized blowtorch. Well, that's what it looked like, Krusty Bomb. It looked like you say, like a super powerful cutting torch is what it looked like. But it was still cool as hell. Just the amount of damage it could inflict is pretty badass. FJN says, how much you love Dragon Ball? Oh, Dragon Ball is one of the all-time greats. I mean, it doesn't have its lofty position among anime for no reason. It's just simply a great series. Great. Everything I've been exposed to with Dragon Ball I've enjoyed. Now, even GT, which I didn't watch all of, I just watched a bunch of clips of. I did watch the entirety of the ending of GT, and that was really good. I never have anything bad to say about Dragon Ball. Excuse me. Wait, oh shit! I was just trying to read. Okay, Nolan says, I have this problem, in quotes, that causes me to be prone to eating $10 of ice cream and cookie dough as my post-workout meal. Well, that's where I am, Nolan. Because like I say, working out is not a problem at all. Eating right? I know how I'm supposed to eat. Do I do it? No.
Yeah.
I can remember years ago I used to drive some of it way back. This would have been like early, mid-'80s. I worked out at the local Y where I used to live. And we had a good group down there. And Saturdays, a lot of the same crew came in every Saturday morning. And a lot of the guys had a similar take on working out as did I, whereas the working out was fun, but the eating right sucked. So I can remember going to the gym and grabbing a dozen Dunkin' Donuts for the gang to bring in there. And the hardcore guys, the guys who were really into sculpting their bodies and everything, would get so pissed at us. They're walking by the mirror making sure that, their abs are protruded properly, and we're over there with Boston cream on our face going, nom, nom, nom. Diamond Dog says that will be fun. Explain to the hospital how you cut off his arm. Yeah. Oh, Diamond Dog, that thing is so cool. That, like we had mentioned, it's basically just a really intense cutting torch, but still, between the look of it and how easily it was cutting through those heavy metals, that's some badass stuff right there. That I don't know. I'm not gonna say that's a guy thing. I think we've got a lot of females in here. It's not just guys that appreciate something as cool and destructive as an ultimate weapon like that, almost like a lightsaber. I know it's actually just an intense cutting torch, but it looks like a lightsaber, and you can do serious damage with it and cut through, metal with it. That's not just a guy thing, right? I mean, again, we got several girls in here. Even girls can appreciate some just basic hardcore violence or potential for violence. Christian said, I recently watched all of Naruto and Shippuden and realized that I'm a man who still readily cry over and again about people who aren't real. Christian, I agree with you 100%. Again, I've never seen any source of media that gets to my feels more effectively than does anime. They just, that's why I become such a nerd for it. It's basically all I watch, other than my sports, my Notre Dame game tomorrow and all. That's all I watch. I just love anime, and it's for those reasons. I says, Curtis, what up, mate? Keep up the ERB reactions. They're incredible. I love how you understand all the references. Well, thanks, I. And a lot of that's too. It's a lot of the times I get a lot of the reactions just because I'm old, and it always impresses me. Or the reactions, the references. It always impresses me how you guys who are substantially younger get a lot of the references that I make, like during the streams and in the videos and stuff. That's more impressive because to me, for me to get a lot of those references, I lived through a lot of that, when they do the historical, go back to the 16th, 17th century, not so much, a little bit, but a lot of the more current but historical figures, I remember those eras. So it's easy for me to, be able to get the references, but I'm always impressed with you guys when I make these obtuse, weird references, how quickly you guys will jump right on them and know what I'm talking about. Philip says, who wouldn't want a lightsaber? I've known a lot of women who want one based on the pretty color alone. Right, Philip. That's what I'm saying. Because I that was one thing I was going to say. I was going to say, there's nothing a guy likes more than that kind of power. But I don't think that's exclusive to us. I think dudes or girls will like that as well. Oh, Jesus Christ, Lex. Lex says, I use lightsaber dildos. My hospital bills are immense. And then when you go in there, Lex, more than once because of a lightsaber dildo, that's when they really start questioning you. Well, I experienced that in the real world because when I was wrestling, I used to end up in the hospital more often than I'd like to admit. And I've told you guys before, unless I was debilitated, I would drive and go to the hospital close to where I live. I preferred being there. And they got to know me on a first name basis, and that's what they kept saying. It's like,
oh,
with as often as you're here, did it ever occur to you to stop fucking doing this? I was like, no. Anbu says, my dad's a big Notre Dame fan. Good luck tomorrow. Is he, Anbu? Oh, guys, I can't even tell you. Now, if we put, obviously, family is the most important thing to me. If we put family aside, then the next highest, most important thing on my list, and I mean this sincerely, is you guys, is the Spaz Boys comedy and the Goosh. This is where I spend all my time. This is, just like what we're doing right now. This is where I get a big hunk of my enjoyment. This is my life. And the close third, right behind doing this, is Notre Dame football. And with Notre Dame at 10-0, and with a chance to beat mighty Clemson, who was number one the only reason they're not number one now, basically, is because Notre Dame took them down once. An opportunity to beat them twice in a season and then move on to the playoff. I actually start to get the sweats just talking about it here. So, yeah, that's probably how I'm going to die at some point. The heart attack will be during a Notre Dame game. Zeno says, if you could be an anime character with any type of weapon, which weapon do you use to annihilate the non-Gooshers? Oh, weapon? Now, see if it's an ability. I like Super Saiyan and more specifically Goku's arsenal of abilities.
Oh,
when you get to Ultra Instinct and everything. But you're talking a weapon? I don't know. Actually, you guys tell me. That's a good one, Zeno asked. What would be the cool weapon to annihilate the non-Gooshers? Now, give me, just because I'll forget something, what would you guys, what would your weapon of choice be, or what do you think my weapon of choice would be if I were remembering them all? We'll get some input on that, Zeno, and I'll see which one really triggers me. Yeah, which weapon would, from anime that I know, the animes that I've seen, would be the best to go annihilate some people? Christian says, my dad may cry if the Bills maintain performance this year. Not to mention that as for hockey, he got to hoist the Stanley Cup before his team could. Really? That's kind of cool. Oh, a very good friend of mine is a huge Bills fan. I'll tell you what, Christian, with the way son of a bitch. I hate when I do that. Bills quarterback. Yeah, it's one of those days where it's really bad with the memory stuff. With the way he's come around this year, his accuracy has improved so much, so much. And he's always had the ridiculous arm. I say he's got the strongest arm in football, and I don't even think it's close. But with his accuracy having improved, man, they're going to be as tough and out in the playoffs as anybody, as easily as anybody. Why is it?
Oh,
God, I hate when I do that with names. Weird and unfortunate soul. I love that screen name. I don't have much of Merry Christmas, my dude. Hope you can get yourself something with this little bud I got left after Christmas shop. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. I love your screen name too, Weird and Unfortunate Soul. That's awesome. And Merry Christmas to you. I appreciate that a lot. That's very kind of you. Josh Allen. Thank you, Anbu. Don't pay any attention to me, guys. Hey, Em. Oh, okay. I'm glad you popped in while you could. Just so you know, Em, Lex and I have to work out the details, but because we want to have controversy at this channel too, at some point I have to either groom or make inappropriate advances towards Lex. Just so you're aware, Em. And then Lex is going to pretend that she was against it, she didn't like it, and then we're going to try and make the YouTube news and stuff. Yes, but Josh Allen has improved so much this year, and he's looked really good. Yeah, I think they're as tough as anybody. Gimster says, remember this quote? I had my coworkers laughing with it. These guys can speak English, French, and African. We can't even speak English right. I don't remember that quote. Not surprising, I guess, Gimster. No, that one's... I can't place it. Christian says might be just because it's 2020. Oh. 2020 is just... 2020 is just fucking not right. No, I appreciate that, Unfortunate Soul. That is a great screen name. Happy Kwanzaa to you too, Gone. I'm just still trying to think, what weapon, guys? Ooh, Shelby's. Oh, we don't need suggestions. Shelby's right. No, there it is. There it is. Because Shelby said, does the Death Note count as a weapon? I say yes. And that would be my choice. Yeah. Yep. I got to go with that. Yeah, Zeno. I was going to take a whole bunch of suggestions, but nothing will top that. I am fascinated by the idea of that Death Note. That's a good one, Shelby. Yes, that would be it. I'd say that's officially a weapon, and that's the one I want. Oh, I would get writer's cramp so bad. Oh, Johnny, jeez. You made my butthole clench just reading that. Johnny says, I end up in the hospital because of a dildo-related incident. I've learned to tie a string to it. For easy retrieval. Diamond Dog says, Mike Tyson has made his comeback. When are you taking him on? I've always said, even at my age, I've always loved a good fight. There's not much of anybody that in a sporting situation that I wouldn't fight. So given that, I would fight Tyson. And I can also absolutely fucking guarantee you he would kick the shit out of me. Just seeing how much speed he's been able to retain in his feet and in his hands, he'd fuck me up. I wouldn't duck the fight because I like a good fight, but I would not win. Yeah, and M says, sure, let's stick Curtis in the ring with Mike Tyson. Yeah, it would be an ass beating, but it certainly wouldn't be the first ass beating I've gotten. Philip says either the Dominator from Psychopaths, a gun that can go scanners on fools, explode their heads, or the sword that Guts had before he had the dragon. Say, oh, Guts had some badass weaponry. That's true. I gotta stay with that Death Note though. That concept alone just fascinates me. Rick says, anime have weapons? I thought it was just shirtless dudes punching each other. Pentagon Phantom says, what does a super kick feel like? Depends on who's delivering it, pal. It depends on how good they are at delivering it. Because the one thing I always said, and it's not, I always hesitate to say this because it's like, oh, ooh, look, tough guy. It's not a tough guy thing. It's part of how I did business as a
Oh,
worker. If I'm going to take a move, I'm not
yeah.
putting my fucking hands up. I don't think you fool anybody with that. And I think it looks horseshit. That's just my opinion. I got nothing against other people that do it. That's why all the chair shots I took and stuff is why I can't remember anything. Is because I'm not going to put my hands up. If I don't want to take the shot, I won't put it in the match. But I'm not going to put it in the match and then go boom like that, like I fooled somebody and got hit in the hands instead. So same with super kicks. I'll turn my head. I try and time the turn of my head away from the kick so that you don't take a mouthful of boot. But it all depends on who's delivering it. A lot of the guys could throw kicks just like I would throw a punch. They could land that kick right here and stop it right here, and you didn't have to worry. And others were a little bit sloppy. So how it was to take one all depended on who was delivering it. My quote was from Muhammad Ali with African pilots. Oh, okay, Gimster. Oh, and listen, even as a Joe Frazier fan, you got to admit, I have to admit, Muhammad Ali had some of the greatest quotes throughout his life in the history of sports. Chrome says, on Mineta, he did say, I'm Mineta, I can't wait to see how you look in 10 years to Aerie. True. That's true. That was one of the things that really got me. He does have creepy moments. He's rarely in the manga after season 4 at least. Yeah, and that's what it was, Chrome. He went from early on being a favorite to where I honestly just don't like him. I mean, it's not like a character I hate and want to see his head lopped off because you guys know how how deep my anger runs for characters I do hate. Fuck off, Train. But I don't even like the kid. I don't think anything about the way he acts is, again, cute or harmless or this. I just think he's a dick, an obnoxious dick. Diamond Dog says, no guy is talking to Tyson's wife. The risk to reward is way out of whack. Yep. I'm shocked by, because I know as I got older, strength, you can maintain strength into your 40s, into your 50s, and still have a decent amount of physical strength. But for me, speed, I never had a ton of speed to begin with. I was always a pounder, but speed and reaction time really goes. That's where you notice the aging. So to see Tyson still that quick with his hands is shocking to me, because we're only like 3 years difference in age. He's 3 or 4 years younger than me, and to see that he's maintained his speed, it makes me envious. And I'm not even fighting. It just makes me envious that I could still hold on to that long. Again, there would be no doubt. I would be happy to fight, but I have no delusions. I would lose significantly. Icewife says maybe it would be safer if Curtis fought Tyson Chicken. Well, I don't know. There's always a chance of salmonella, and I don't want to puke. Let's see. Cheyenne says Triple H's Hell in a Cell with Batista was a vicious match that's still burned into my memory. Yeah, I gotta give Triple H credit. He wasn't afraid to get dirty, and Batista too, for being always having had kind of, even before he got into acting, a little bit more of a, people saw him as kind of a prima donna, or not a hardcore type. He was willing to get colored up too. Excuse me, sorry. Gon says TBF, he had somewhat of a personality at the start, and as time went on, all that became of him was the weird perv gag. Yeah, and like I say, Gon, again, we know the example I like to use is Sanji. We know Sanji's a perv. He's always been a perv. A lot of his actions revolve around perviness, but there's so many other redeeming qualities to him, and he's so seemingly harmless in the way he goes about his perviness that for me, you just love him. You just love the character. And Mineta's just the opposite. He's pervy. He's always been pervy, but the way he goes about the perviness is fucked up. It just seems like you don't seem like somebody that the girls or the objects of your perving could go, oh, that's Mineta being Mineta, and have a laugh at it. It's more like, I got to watch when I go to my car because that fucker's going to be behind me with a knife type thing. That's just how I see him. Lou says, yeah, Mineta's just kind of there now. He's funny from time to time, but otherwise you don't really care about him. Yeah, and like I said, I've gotten to where I actually dislike him. He just too creepy for me. Joe says, "What do you think about Shawn Michaels, Curtis?" In fairness, I've never met Shawn Michaels. I have worked with lots of guys who have worked with Shawn Michaels. As far as a worker, as far as a wrestler, fantastic. Fantastic work rate, does everything well. Obviously, he was brilliant on the mic. There's nothing Shawn Michaels couldn't do as a wrestler. As a person, what I know of him, and again, this is knowledge that I've gained through other people. I like to be fair. If I'm going to say something that maybe isn't super complimentary, no, I don't like him. From what I've been told, he's changed a lot. He's mellowed as he's gotten older. But from all the things I've heard about him, through the height of his career, he's kind of a douche. That's my opinion. Luke says Mineta is the human representation of the MHA fandom. Ouch. And Chrome says, I think Mineta is just a mad pervert character. Yeah, he's too one note really to care about him. I've seen the character type done way better in Urusei Yatsura. Yeah, I've seen, and again, like I was saying, Chrome, I've seen, there's lots of pervs that you just laugh at and are good characters or just fun characters, and you take the perviness as just lighthearted. And I just think Mineta crosses the line into, that's a potential creeper, possible pedophile there as he gets older. Lachlan says, oh God, it's been a hell of a day. Lachlan. Things not going well. No, it is 2020, my friend. It's not surprising whenever anything is shit. Pentagon says, your opinion on The Undertaker? Greatest gimmick in the history of wrestling, I think. As far as a gimmick, Undertaker's was the best. And as far as wrestlers, Mark Calloway is among the absolute elite in the sport. I would put him up there with Bruno Sammartino and all the legends that did, he's one of the greatest. I have nothing but just effusive praise when it comes to Mark Calloway. Lude says, I've never found Mineta to feel harmful in any way. His character is a comedy release that's going to the extreme, but at the end of the day, he's trained to be a hero and it seems genuine. See, I now, again, and Lude, I'm not saying that when I talk about Mineta, I'm just talking about my feel for him. I'm not saying accusatory that he's done anything specifically. It's just I have the opposite feel for him. When he goes through his pervy machinations now, and if I knew exactly why, I'd tell you. It's just a feeling I get. But when he does go through his perviness, it's like, fuck you, kid. You're just creepy. And again, I can't explain why. It's just the way he strikes me. Johnny says Mick Foley is so underappreciated. Oh, absolutely. I love Taker, but Mankind is my favorite gimmick. Mick's performance was otherworldly. I agree. I mean, if you had to take the high-profile wrestlers, if there was one guy who most mirrored the way I went about my career, it was Mick Foley, because it was this similar type of thing. When you're creating your niche in wrestling, there's a lot of different ways you can go. Well, I wasn't going to be a pretty boy. I wasn't going to be a high flyer. And I was sizable, but I certainly wasn't one of the monsters. But the one thing I could do was dish out and, more importantly, take tons and tons of punishment and just keep going. So that ends up being your gimmick. Hardcore stuff. I mean, when I started, hardcore wasn't even a term in wrestling. It was just, you're just beating the shit out of each other. We didn't have a term for it. But that's who I would most identify with, because that's the type of shit that I did. Zeno says Mineta versus Meliodas in perv battle. See, now again, Zeno, to me, Meliodas is another one. Now, his perviness has never struck me as anything but boys will be boys naughtiness, whereas Mineta's is just like, ew. And again, it's not for any reason that I can put my finger on. It's just a feeling. Nathan says, I heard a joke. There was a man. His motto was love your neighbor. He lived next to a brothel. I want to live next to a brothel. Do you get discounts based on physical association there, or on proximity? I might need to look into that. Weird Unfortunate Soul says, my girlfriend just sent me some money through PayPal to give you because her PC won't let her join the stream. Aw. So I don't know if you could ever get in a Discord call with you, even if she is mute. I never have a problem with hanging out, chatting with anyone. The only problem, well, I never have a problem. The only problem, the only reason I don't do it more often is just time, and I have to try and be fair, and I can't say to one person, yeah, well, we'll hook that up, and then tell other people, well, I don't have the time. The reason that I'm not in the Discord hardly at all is the same thing, is because of time, and I don't feel comfortable having Discord, having Discord running on my PC, but not paying attention to it.
Oh,
I just think that's rude.
yeah.
So that's why I don't have it up, because to be honest with you guys, and if there's not many moments of my day that aren't accounted for. I'm either, doing, watching videos, making videos, editing, whatever the case may be, taking care of business around the house or something. I have very, very limited time that isn't accounted for. And that's the only reason I don't do stuff like that. I thank your girlfriend for me, and I appreciate that. But again, that's just the situation I'm in. I can't say okay to it for someone and not be able to do it for others as well. I've said over and over, time is my greatest enemy. There's just not enough of it in the day. Gimster says, Joe's going to come out smoking, but I ain't going to be joking. I'll be picking and poking, pouring water on his smoking. This may shock and amaze you, but I'm going to destroy Joe Frazier. That's when I used to hate him, Gimster, when I hated Ali, because I love Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier I had several athletic heroes when I was a kid. There's Bruno Sammartino, Roberto Clemente, Joe Frazier, Dick Butkus, and Secretariat, right off the top of my head. And those were my childhood heroes. And so Ali, listen, Joe Frazier was not a talker. He was a fighter. So Ali would just verbally dominate him and make him look bad. And that's what started, as a kid, I was like 9, 10 when the first fight was coming around that Frazier Ali won. That's why I hated him, because it was very political to a lot of people because of Ali and his political leanings. I was a kid. I didn't know anything about politics. All I knew was the guy that I really liked was really being made fun of in a rude and mean way by the other guy, so I hated the other guy. Yeah, those were the days. Those were some great fights, though. Great fights, though. Chrome says, watch out for the monkey paw in that wish, Curtis. You'll get your wish, but it'll be male brothel with Spaz Kid. Yeah. And yeah, you're right, Chrome. That's about how my luck goes, too. Lachlan says, my mom just got back from the hospital after going to see the general practitioner. Turns out she has COPD. Oh, shit. And actually had a mild heart attack about a month back. It's been a hell of a geez, I'm sorry to hear that, Lachlan. I hope all goes well for your mom. Oh, really sorry to hear that. That's too bad. I hope everything works out well for it. Oh, that COPD. I know a couple people that have it. That's a bitch. You feel terrible with somebody in the throes of an attack due to that. Just the idea of not being able to breathe is so frightening. Philip says Roberto Clemente played for the Pirates. Yeah, Philip. He was my hero as a kid. That's why I'm a Pirates fan to this day, because I was a Clemente. I always stuck with my teams. I'm a Pirates fan because of Roberto Clemente. In basketball, I'm a Bucks fan because of Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor at the time was his name before he changed it to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Cowboys fan because of Bob Hayes and Bob Lilly. They were big stars when I was a kid. And even though those were the first two guys that captured my attention, I had already become a Cowboys fan. So when a short time later I discovered the awesomeness that was Dick Butkus, he became my favorite player, but I never quit on my team, so I had to stay a Cowboys fan because I'd already established that as the ones. Because if I'd have seen Butkus first, I'd have been a Bears fan. Sugar Ray Robinson or Sugar Ray Leonard? Ocho, toss a coin. They were both brilliant. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. In their prime, they were both just absolutely brilliant fighters. Leonard, of course, was faster. Robinson was more powerful. Oh, like I say, toss a coin in that fight. All right, Darth Bucket, thanks for being in while you could, pal. What do I think of John Moxley? Good worker, Pentagon. Good worker. I like Moxley. I think he's a good worker. I think he's good on the mic, and I think he's really built a strong character. No matter, if he's working under Moxley or whatever name he's working under, he's got that same very hard-hitting character, and I like him. Elijah graduated from high school finally. Oh, good for you. Congratulations, my friend. Weird, my dad is a Cowboys and a Dame fan. Cool. Really? Really? Yeah. And Notre Dame, I became a fan of Notre Dame. I think I've told you guys this before. It's like the most romanticized way I've come into any fandom. I still remember it. We lived out in a little jerkwater town called Delancey, New York, and we were out in the sticks, of the sticks. And it had to be a Saturday afternoon. I remember walking by my TV, and I just started. I couldn't have been like 6, maybe.
Yeah.
I just started getting into football a little bit. And I walked by the TV, and it was the start of a Notre Dame game. And I saw these dudes coming out of the tunnel with these really cool gold helmets glinting in the sunshine. And they took a long shot of the stadium, and you see, touchdown Jesus out there. And it was such a cool visual spectacle that I stopped what I was doing. I was like, those might be the most badass people walking the planet right there in those gold helmets. And that was it. And I became a Notre Dame fanatic. Oh, really, Johnny? He says, my granddad had a 55 Topps Clemente. Yeah, that was the rookie card. 55, right? Am I remembering right? Yeah, 55, I think, was the rookie. I didn't have that one. When I was a kid, I had most of the Clemente cards, but I didn't have his rookie. When I was a kid, I was a baseball card fanatic. And so every gift-giving occasion, people gave me cards. I can remember, because I played with them endlessly, I can remember most of what I had as a kid because I played with those cards incessantly. Kaiser says, the character Tomoki I mentioned works because he is so dedicated to his perversion to the point he threw a contest and fell into feces with a salute because perv moral angels convinced him to. Hey, whatever you're going to be in life, even if it's a perv, you should be committed to it. I agree with that. Brother E says, almost every wrestler can confirm Shawn Michaels is still a bit of a douche, and Undertaker is one of the most humble people you come across. You can ask me about any wrestler in real life, and I'll describe. Yeah, Shawn's. Unfortunately, his attitude and demeanor was well known, and again, I know people who have experienced it firsthand in the locker room, and same with Undertaker. His reputation precedes him, and he was a locker room boss for a reason, because he had the respect of the locker room. And he was a badass. Gimster says, Prime Ali versus Prime Tyson is a talk I like to have at the smoke pits at work. It's almost always a major thought process for those who know them. I tell you, Gimster, I agree. It's a great matchup of styles because you got the brilliant fighter with the quick hands and the nasty jab versus the pounder who knows how to be a pounder, how to get inside. And the thing that's interesting, though, and now whether he said it just in reverence or he really believes it, Tyson said Ali kicks his ass. I'm not convinced. It's tough. I think it just depends on day to day, who is having the better day. It's that close. Prime Tyson, prime Ali. Ali's jab was sick. His speed was ridiculous. And the thing Ali, even though I wasn't an Ali fan growing up, you can't deny Ali was tough. It's very unlikely, there's only a few guys you can say this about, but it's very unlikely that Tyson takes him out with one shot. Because if Ernie Shavers didn't do it, I don't know that anybody can. Because Ernie Shavers was not one of the greatest boxers of all time, but I think he hit harder than anybody I've ever seen, even including Foreman. And he fucking nailed Muhammad Ali with a shot that I had never seen anybody else take, and Ali rolled with it. Ali also got his jaw broken by Kenny Norton in the second round and fought all 15 with the jaw broken. So the thing is, you're going to have to keep coming after Ali to have a chance. It took, Frazier, it took him in that first fight, was it 13th round, that he finally even knocked him down, and Ali still got back up.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. Prime versus Prime, as I say, I think it would just come down to who was having a better individual day. Sajil says, can I rub some lotion on your back, please? Yes, absolutely. Yarborough says, only was able to get in for a short bit. Well, bang. Okay, indeed, Yarborough. We're always banging on the, is always on the docket. Weird and Unfortunate Soul says, I'm just jamming to the Warrior song when listening to the stream too. Shout out to the ones serving our country who are doing it right. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, Unfortunate Soul. I say it all the time, I am such a huge admirer and have such amounts of respect for people who volunteer to defend their nations. Yeah, as Big Green says, oh yeah, I'm not sure who would have won that fight. Yeah, it's impossible to really say, Big Green, because, again, it's a perfect match of styles. And in their prime, they were both among the best in history at fighting the style they did. I don't know. I think it would be just one of those fights that came down to, as in large part did the Ali Frazier fights, come down to who was having a better day on that given day. Blue Gender says, what's your opinion on something like Wrestler's Court? Oh, that was commonplace. Blue Gender in the wrestling industry, if not specifically that, a lot of groups had similar things. Even in the indies, we had stuff like that. It was just a way to mediate differences amongst the boys when they would arise. So it worked for the most part. If you had decent people that were the judges in Wrestler's Court, yeah, that's actually, I know it gets talked about a lot because it came up, I think, in some of the different shows that have been airing regarding the real world of pro wrestling, but that wasn't uncommon in the wrestling world to have a Wrestler's Court type thing. What's a guilty pleasure that I have going nowhere? That's a tough question for me because I rarely feel guilt or shame. And you guys can back me up on that. I don't know, guilty pleasure? It's not that I don't find pleasure in some more bizarre things. I just don't feel guilty about it. I don't know. I always loved the song Fireflies. Brax does too, and we always bust each other's balls about the fact that we're really lame that we like the song Fireflies. But I don't know. Outside that, I don't know. Going nowhere, I don't know what it would be. Jill says, "Okay, just ignore it if something pokes you, though." Jill, that's my that's the philosophy I have in life. If something pokes me, I ignore it because I want to see what's coming next. What's your opinion on Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather and YouTube boxing in general? Oh, Weematode, I don't think Logan Paul, if Floyd takes this seriously and not just as a payday, I don't think Logan Paul can punch him once. Because even at his age, Floyd Mayweather's reactions, speed are just on another level. And what I saw of Logan Paul and those looping, poorly thrown punches, no. It'll just depend. See, with Floyd, and this is by his own admission, Floyd's all about the money. So if he's showing up just to make Logan Paul look good and just stay away from him, get to a decision and be over with it, it could end up being a relatively boring fight. If Floyd wants to make him pay and is actually not only going to make Logan miss, but get in there and try and fuck up his face a little, then it'll get interesting. That's why I think the idea of one of them fighting Conor McGregor is more appealing to me, not because McGregor's necessarily isn't a better fighter, boxer, than Mayweather. It's just that I think McGregor will go in there to rearrange their fucking face. I don't have a problem with the YouTube boxing. I have a problem with YouTube boxers thinking that they're actually on the level of world-class fighters. If they want to fight each other, that's fine. But I have seen nothing from the Pauls or KSI or anyone that even remotely indicates that these guys have any chance in hell of lasting any significant amount of time with a real fighter. I'm not saying they couldn't get there. Who knows? Who knows what their ceiling is? But as it stands right now, no, it's a joke. Floyd Mayweather is a legend. One of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. Logan Paul is not. Gibster says, Ali got knocked down around 15. It was 15? Gibster, I couldn't remember. Frazier left the match 10 pounds lighter and spent a month in the hospital. Didn't take too much energy from them. Though they said, both those guys have said that those 3 fights shortened their lives. I mean, way before either of them lost their lives. They said they know they're not going to live as long a lives as they would have if they hadn't been in those fights. Hell, in the third one, Ali thought he was dying. And right before Frazier's corner threw in the towel and said he couldn't continue, Ali's corner was thinking of doing the same thing. But I remember, I forgot who it was. Was it Pacheco or whoever was in Ali's corner? I remember seeing an interview where he was saying that Ali was in the corner going, well, I'm dying. That's it. I'm dying. And they're telling him, Chimp, you're not dying. He goes, yes, I am. I'm dying. And he was like hallucinating. He really thought he was going to die. But those guys would not stop fighting. That's fighters. You know, it's like Frazier had said, and I'm paraphrasing, but at one time in his career, it said something along the lines of, and he proved it when he fought George Foreman, death is preferable to surrender, basically. You can beat me to death in that ring, but I'm not going to quit. And again, it wasn't empty word. Anybody that thinks that was an empty platitude, just watch his fight against George Foreman. I remember as a kid seeing, because I was a big Frazier fan, and I was a kid, and I watched it. I remember I cried watching it because it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, just stop. Just stay on the ground. He's fucking killing you. But that the man was a warrior. He was not going to stay down. Brother E says, legend says Nate Robinson is still lying unconscious in that ring. Entirely possible. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Nate's not a boxer. And somebody told me, Nate Robinson, I don't know if this is true, somebody told me he didn't even spar prior. He just physically trained. If that's the case, that's moronic. Why would you even take the fight if you weren't going to spar and learn to box? There's only so much you can learn on a heavy bag and on a tether bag and on a speed bag. You got to get in there and exchange blows. Jesus Christ. Batman Naruto says, can I fight you then? Who get the belt of WWW? Zeno says, KSI is the real fighter of all the YouTube boxers. KSI knows he can't handle it the best. Jake Paul is literally asking for death. Yeah. And that's the thing, too. You know, the Pauls are sizable guys. It's one thing to be calling out Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah.
Or Conor McGregor. Tyson's making a comeback. Call his ass out. Because you think he's going to play around with you? I'll watch a 50-something-year-old Tyson fight these youngsters. Yeah, that'll get ugly. Because what Roy Jones Jr. did, Roy Jones Jr. is a brilliant boxer. And there's nobody will ever make me believe differently. Roy Jones Jr. in that fight knew it's like, yeah, this was a bad fucking idea. He said as much prior to it. And Roy fought that fight to survive. That's what he wasn't looking to take out Tyson. He was looking to survive the fight. And he's a skilled fighter. He could do it. The Paul brothers are not skilled fighters. They're not going to know how to just survive in a fight. And a guy like Tyson, that would be a beating of epic proportions that I don't care what they charge for that. I'll rob a bank if I got it. I'd have to see that one. Lute says, I don't mind the YouTube boxing stuff. Honestly, it's very nice to see the YouTubers be able to get out of the video creator shell and do more. But they should do it versus each other, not try to mix pros. Exactly. That's where I am, Lute. I've been entertained by their fights. But then, again, and it's mainly the Pauls, you get these guys comparing themselves or wanting to mix with world-class fighters. Like, stop. Just fucking stop. Go look at a tape of your fight against Nate Robinson and then look at any tape of Floyd Mayweather fighting anybody. And if you can look at that and say, oh, yeah, these two things are equal, you're just fucking delusional.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even close. Gimster says, we went to Manila as champions, Joe and me, but we came back as old men. Yeah, it's true. I mean, and doctors have said the same thing. The human body is not made to endure the things that those two guys put each other through. They were going well beyond the limits of what their brain was telling them was enough. I mean, their brain, well, when you got a guy sitting in the corner saying, I'm dying, their brains were telling them, stop. I can't, we can't take any more of a beating. And their will is just saying, no, fuck you. I'm not laying down for this guy. It's legendary. I get chills thinking back to those three fights because of just what they represented. It was the days, being anime fans, I think most of us are fans of warriors or gladiators, and that's it at its very essence. That is the heart of warriors. Welder for life. Curtis, can you help me train a parrot to say, I consent? I am not even going to ask any more questions about that. gonna let it go at that. Oh, you guys are funny. Israel says, "What if filthy Pink, the fusion between Pink Guy and Papa Franco, fought the demons of Has-Been Hotel? Oh, there would be no survivors, I would say, and it would be a glorious battle." Oh, you guys are funny. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. Thank you for this free for all Friday. This was a great free for all Friday. Sounds like people are showing up now. As I said, we got, with being away next week, we're having a little get together for Christmas today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Wish me luck tomorrow. I'll try and survive the Notre Dame Clemson game. Again, in my ranking of things that are of utmost importance to me, it's my family, it's you guys, and then it's Notre Dame football. And tomorrow versus Clemson, good chance of a heart attack. I will start before the game even starts. A blood pressure check at that point would probably have me have them responding with an ambulance. Yeah, it's gonna be a big day tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll get to stream tomorrow, is what I'm saying, because I still have stuff to get done for the day, because I want to make sure everything runs smooth while I'm gone. Getting videos done ahead of time and stuff. And then it's Notre Dame. But thank you for this Free For All Friday stream. This was a blast. As always, the conversations are so fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and just giving me so much enjoyment. And listen, it's not only Free For All Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's the last, well, let's see. Well, no, because because today is the 18th. So it's, a week from today is Christmas. So this will be the last regular Goose Goodbye Gimster says, the last regular stream before Christmas, because if I get to stream to you guys on Christmas, it would be, from the house we're staying at. So it'd just be a quick stream on my phone. It won't be our, I'll take the spot, Zeno says. Are you going to get it right at the end there, Zeno? But he's got plenty of sticky stuff. That's all that matters. So, while we're gone, I'll try and stream to you guys here or there, but it won't be, our typical sit down, long conversation streams. So given that, the sticky stuff here is infused with holiday spirit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
by holiday spirits, I may mean, Zeno's the boss. I may mean just the idea of enjoying the holidays, or I could mean like spirits. It's hard to say. You guys will have to be the judge, but it's special edition Christmas time Free For All Friday sticky stuff. Get those official sticky stuff fanny packs out. You're not gonna want to lose any of this. Catch every little drop that you can, please. Here it is. Pamfu Pamfu. Free For All sticky stuff. Free For All Friday sticky stuff. Sticky stuff for you. The Christmas sticky stuff. It's red. It's green. There might even be like some pieces of Santa's beard in there, and some reindeer shit, and maybe even maybe one of his chopped up elves. Could be anything in there. Could be a Christmas cookie. Probably a chopped up elf though, because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, in every season, but particularly the Christmas season, ho, 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 goose, 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 goose. Ooh.